That's what they think about first. McKnight on the drive. He was stopped down there by Sheldon Williams. Oh, big-time block by Williams, who's had about a half dozen blocks in this tournament so far.
Boy, and Booker turned down a wide-open 12-foot jump shot and dribbled into traffic.
J.J. Redick hasn't shot the ball very well. He's being guarded right now by 6'5" sophomore David Teague. Some of these Purdue guards have some size going with their strength and quickness.
Gene Katie's club also goes 11 deep. Duke right now, they're only 7 strong.
Dang gets the assist on the banker by Sheldon Williams.
But I think it's important also to note that Duke has played 3 nights in a row. Purdue got a day off. They played on Wednesday, took Thursday off, so they're a little bit more rested and they're a little deeper on their bench.
Yeah, they'll come with as many as 11 or 12 guys.
Well, you see the sweep and drive early out of Purdue. They talked about it in the shoot-around.
That's big. He's such a great defender, Kenneth Lowe. When he hits points early, that could be big. That's his 3rd three-pointer of the year in 10 shots. So the Boilers by 3 early, 2.5 minutes in. Ewing, and then there's the big step out by Booker. A little out of sync, that Duke passing game so far. Baseline move, Dang couldn't hit it. Williams looked like he was going to get the follow. Kenneth Lowe took it away and then lost it in the baseline. Two coaches, each with a court back home named after him. Gene Katie Court at Mackey Arena. Mike Krzyzewski Court, or Coach K Court, of course, at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Here's Dang. Tough shot. Easy follow. Sheldon Williams. Nobody put a body on it.
But I like Dang attacking the rim. We've seen a lot of his perimeter jump shots so far in this tournament. Scouting report tells you he can score on the inside, and they will need some of that tonight. Even if his shot doesn't fall, it allows for an offensive board.
By the way, almost 1,200 wins between these two coaches tonight.
Look out.
Duhan, the alley-oop, and Ewing couldn't get it. Here's Williams again. It's the Sheldon show. He's got all 6 for Duke. They are going at it out there, partner. Booker banks it in. Chris Booker strong to the iron. He's got an outside jumper, but they love his post moves and the way he attacks the glass. Here's Duhan kicking on the wing. Ewing rolls in the 3.
That's an important shot for Duke because, as you said, they haven't shot the ball great from the perimeter, but Ewing is the most versatile perimeter scorer, Bob. He can shoot it. He can take you off the bounce.
Yeah, and how good of a three-point touch do you have to roll one in from out there? Kenneth Lowe's shot short, and a held ball on the floor. That will get us to our first media timeout. We're 4 minutes and 4 seconds in. Championship game of the 26th annual Great Alaska Shootout.
And look for Purdue to try to get this game into the bench of Coach K.
Yeah.
He's only 7 strong right now. One of those 7, Dockery, has not scored a point, Bob, all season long yet.
And McKnight quick enough to put on some full court pressure here.
Well, what a week it's been on Feast Week, huh? Upsets all over the place in that top 10.
Yeah, some top 10s fallen. Purdue can't do anything about Sheldon Williams right now. It's the one thing about Duke, they do have enough weapons in their starting 5. If you key on the perimeter, they can hurt you down low. Matt Kiefer is in, playing the high post for Purdue right there. He's looking for Teague on the left wing, but Ewing won't let him get open. Look at Redick trying to deny Lowe, and J.J. will get a foul on that reach. Well, Jimmy D, what you were talking about, here's what's happened in our ESPN USA Today top 10.
You know what, though, so early in the season, you could take that top 10, Bob, and flip-flop it and put Carolina #1, Kentucky 2, Florida 3, and it really doesn't matter right now. It's what everybody thought going in, and as the games start being played out, you see who's #1 and who's 25.
Here's Booker putting it on the floor. Tough defense. Williams, that was a travel before the shot. You know, Jimmy, and college basketball coaches, they appreciate this sort of action, these matchups early. A member of our ESPN crew at the Mass Mutual Classic the other night told me that Lute Olson, after that game, even though he lost, he was really happy to play Florida and to have a game like that to see where his ball club is this early.
Like right now, you're going to find out, can you run your offense and execute against tough, hard-nosed man-to-man defense? And right now, Duke is showing that they can do it. They've done a nice job of keeping the floor spread. They're attacking the paint first and establish the inside game.
10 of their 13 points in the paint, all of them by Sheldon Williams. So it's Duke by 6 early. Backdoor open, Booker slams it. Couldn't drop it because contact was made.
Well, you're going to expect contact to come at you if you go towards the rim tonight. Booker takes it up strong with 2 hands like you should do. You're not going to finesse finish tonight at the rim. Not with big body guys like Randolph and Williams and the bigs that Purdue can throw at you.
Both of these clubs shoot free throws well when they get their chances. Booker adds to Purdue's 76%. Hey, Jimmy, look at this. Their basketball front court and their football offensive line, the average heights and weights are at the bottom.
Yeah, and it's a good football offensive line for Purdue and Joe Tiller's club this year. I think they won 9 ball games, and that tells you the size that Coach Katie can throw on the floor at you. You talk about the free throws being a factor in this ball game. Duke right now, Bob, they are plus 17 free throw attempts a game right now. That's how much damage they do from the free throw strike.
And when Ivan Cartello steps on the floor, already 7 Boilermakers have appeared in this game. Lujan in the backcourt. Little help there from Shavlik Randolph, who's been a real good off-the-bench inside guy for Coach K in this tournament. Redick released. Long shot. Left side, back iron. And J.J. Redick is 4 for 16 from three-point range.
Well, but again, his jump shot is the reference point of his game. He might be trying to put too much stuff into the bounce of the ball. He is still one of the most prolific jump shooters on the college level right now.
Ewing adjusted that shot by Kenneth Lowe. Underneath, Cartello, blocked by Williams. He's got 2 blocks already, and then staying right with it, Matt Kiefer. So Purdue battling back, down by just 2.
Bob, Purdue plus 10 rebounds a game. You're getting to the point of the season, 3, 4, 5 games into it, that you can start looking at stat sheets and getting tendencies for what team strengths are. Purdue, what jumps out at me, plus 10 rebounds a game. What jumps out at Duke, plus 17 free throw attempts a game.
Ball to be thrown in here by Chris Duhon. Redick works off a pick, released in the corner, trying to get away from Buckley. And he throws up what's basically an air ball. Didn't touch any iron at all.
Great job by Buckley to just charge out hard at Redick and make him do something off the bounce.
Yeah, he's one of their energy guys. Good rebounder, but he can get the face of a shooter as well. Kiefer, high post, looking down for Cartello. He got fronted, and Randolph comes up with a loose ball. Purdue has turned it over 3 times already. The ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by 989 Sports. It gets underway Tuesday. It's Indiana and number 18 Wake. That'll be at 7 Eastern. 2 hours later, Illinois and North Carolina, number 12 and number 10. And some of those ratings will change a bit. It's the ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by 989 on ESPN.
Well, what you got to remember is Bracy Wright for Indiana. He was maybe the best freshman in the country last year, the first 7 or 8 games when he was healthy. He had 27 today, and big win over Xavier.
Looks like a Purdue foul on Matt Kiefer. Watch number 42.
Well, that's lock and trail right now with Redick being chased all over the floor. You can call it caboose, you can call it lock and trail, but he was going to get bumped not only from his defender, but the help defenders will come in and not give Redick any easy cuts through that lane. That is Purdue basketball.
Now, is that a foul or is that offensive line holding?
Yeah. Either one, but that's how Redick's going to be guarded.
Wow, what a pass by Duhon and a finish by Randolph. How did he do it?
Been so impressed with Chris Duhon's ability to control the basketball game in this tournament. He's done it on the defensive end and the offensive end. He was patient, Bob, against the man-to-man defense. Sometimes in man-to-man defense, you can move the ball too quickly and you pass up inside post people posting up. That time Duhon was patient, let Randolph establish position, boom, then got the ball to him right on key.
Duke gets it back after the miss by Randolph. He'll got a 3 now, and he's got back iron with that. 7 minutes into the ball game. It's Duke 15-11.
Austin Parkinson, the backup point guard for Purdue, bringing it up. A trap at midcourt. Monty Dixon will give Purdue the timeout.
You've got to know going in, you dribble that ball across the timeline. Duke from the sidelines will call it. They'll run and jump you and double you up. You'll see things tonight in this ballgame, Bob, that we haven't seen so far in this tournament because Duke and Purdue has not had to use everything in their arsenal. But you'll expect some run and jumps out of Duke, especially out of the timeouts, some changing defenses. Best test of the season for both clubs so far. Talked about Duke's depth. All 5 of their starters are averaging plus 23 minutes a game. Randolph's getting 18 and Dockery's getting 12. But again, Randolph's averaging 8 points and Dockery has not scored a basket. That's why I talk about Duke. They're only 7 strong right now. You've got to get your 8th and 9th guy involved in this basketball team.
Kenneth Lowe trying to get something going down low. And he draws the foul. Shooting foul. Looks like Lowe will go to the line on a foul by Shavlik Randolph.
Kenneth Lowe does a lot of good things for Gene Cady, and one of them is gets himself into the game on the free throw strike. This is a guy right now getting 6 points a ball game from the charity strike. 6 out of 7 times he's converting. And he is a scorer, not a shooter. There's a difference, but Kenneth Lowe is a terrific scorer right now.
Outstanding free throw shooter is Kenneth Lowe. That's his 19th make in 21 attempts this year. And we apologize for some of the audio problems we're having. We'll improvise and keep you going here at the championship game of the Great Alaska Shootout. That's Lowe with his 5th point of the night after hitting his early 3. And it's Duke by 2, 7.5 minutes in.
Again, you see Dockery running the point, not a scorer. He's a terrific defender and a setup guy, but he's not a scoring threat.
Left side, Dockery, who just checked in. Good look down. Randolph, yes, and a foul. So Sean Dockery comes in. He's a backup at both the 1 and the wing, and he gets a very nice assist.
Well, Purdue just has a breakdown on the interior. They're doing a pretty good job of getting ball pressure out top. This time they don't get a hand up on the passer. Gives him easy vision inside, and Randolph is just completely exposed open on the low block. Duke, again, you watch them play. Anytime you see a guy in a white jersey tonight on the offensive end hold up a fist, that tells you, I'm a screener, I'm coming to get you, set your man up. That's their signal when they go screen. Fist in the air, they're going to come screen.
Brett Busher, Austin Parkinson trying to break the backdoor pressure of Duke. Ewing all over Austin Parkinson, the 6-foot senior, who backs up at the point.
Duke outstanding getting that ball out of the middle of the floor and forcing him to operate from the side. And exactly what they did is over-penetration by Busher and a terrific defensive rotation by the Duke Blue Devils.
Brett Busher on the charge as he received that pass. Now,
and once you see the defense here by Shavlik Randolph, hold it right here, guys. Point your pistols. This is Randolph right here. Now watch, he's got one hand pointed to his man here. The other hand knows this is where the ball is. He's pointing his pistols. Mentally, he's guarding his guy. And physically, he's going to rotate over, boom, and be there in position to take the charge. Terrific help side defense out of Duke. Point your pistols. One hand's pointing at your guy. The other hand is pointing where the ball is. Great defensive principles right there out of Duke.
And they've had some pretty good pistol pointers over the years, haven't they? Shane Battier, the most recent.
We're going to break out our all-Wojo Great Alaska Shootout team for this broadcast. So I can tell you right now, Chris Duhon is on it, Ryan Mantlow from Liberty is on it, Kenneth Lowe from Purdue, and Peter Bullock from Alaska. The other spot is up in the air right now. But those are the guys that have impressed me with the effort they play with.
Luol Deng on the miss, keeping it alive. Dockery. He'll come out of there with it. He'll turn around and take the jumper, a little short, and a rebound for Chris Booker of Purdue.
Now, Bob, you fight that
hard. And then
hard.
A poke as Dockery got Austin Parkinson right in the eye, and they're going to give a foul there on Sean Dockery of Duke.
Bob, if you're Duke, you fight that hard to get the offensive rebound back, and then what did Dockery do? He went out, dribbled to the corner, and jacked one up with about 30 on the shot clock. And that's not what you want. There you see the inadvertent reach in by Dockery. But my point is this: Dockery has not made a point all season long. You work too hard to get the ball back. Don't dribble out to the corner and jack one up.
Brendan McKnight on the handle for Purdue, looking to finish off the play. That ball pulled down by Melvin Buckley.
Now make Duke work. Run your offense. Get a high percentage look. Make them work.
Oh, blocked by Dang. Buckley gets it. Shot clock still rolling. And it's drilled by Melvin Buckley, a good-looking second-year player out of Thornwood High School, South Holland, Illinois.
We just watch the guys away from the ball in the black uniforms right now, Bob. They stay down. They stay in a stance. They keep vision. Great job of talking. And if you don't talk and communicate in this game, you're going to get somebody knocked off and get off an easy 2 points.
Coming up to the high post is Randolph. Duhan trying to blow by the left side. Busher trying to stay with him.
Boy, if you're a high school point guard, set your VCR and watch that Notre Dame Marquette game. Chris Thomas from Notre Dame, Travis Diener from Marquette, two of the better ones in the business.
18-15 Duke, nearing the halfway point first half in the Great Alaska Shootout championship game.
Purdue trying to cross their wings underneath and screen down just to get into their offense. Again, so important, your entry pass against Duke.
Reddick beat everybody down the floor, and Duhan found him beautifully.
So I talk about Duhan controlling the game. He knows when to break the ball, when not to break it, when to pass ahead, when not to.
Booker. And Sheldon Williams sweeps away the board. He's having a big game down low so far, with 10 points and 4 rebounds now already. In the corner, Dang. Well short. Upstairs, Brandon McKnight, and the Boilers are running. And that was an unforced error on a pass that led David Teague way too far. Gene Cady will get Kenneth Lowe back in.
Well, watch it right here. Again, Duhan immediately, as soon as he got that ball in his hands, the head was up, and Reddick was running the left side of the floor and just catch and go up and in. And this is a kid that cannot forget what made him what he was last year, a jump shooting machine. And he's got to use the dribble and the head fake as a complement to his jump shot, but he cannot get away from that being his first look.
And for Purdue, 6 turnovers in the first 11 minutes. Ewing in trouble. Barely off for Duhan. Teague a little reach in. That's a travel. When David Teague reached in, it upset the dribble just a bit. And for Duke, their second turnover. Ivan Cartella will check back in for the Boilermakers.
You see Duhan doing a great job early in this ball game of getting his bigs involved. Really reading what the defense is giving him. Guys are slipping off the screens. Look at that right there. That was perfect timing between the point guard and the big inside.
I like the movement on that fastball. Under the 9-minute mark, Teague. That's a 3 for David Teague. His 4th successful 3-point shot of the year. And the Boilermakers back to within 2 with 8:40 to go. Reddick traffic, kicks for Ewing. He knocks it down, and Daniel Ewing has his second 3 of the night. Going end-to-end pretty quickly here. Here's Booker. They can't miss. A half dozen for Chris Booker.
Booker, a guy that'll get you 9 and 7. He's getting 3 or 4 offensive rebounds a game. Purdue is searching hard right now for another scorer to complement Kenneth Lowe. Look out.
Oh, it just rimmed out. As Daniel Ewing got squared up and almost drilled a long 3. John Dockery will check back in for Duke. Duhan, who's been working hard, will get a breather. And the clock with 8:04 to go first half. Duke by 3 over Purdue. ACC and Big Ten getting together here tonight in Anchorage.
Purdue does a good job, Bob, of arm bar screening. And that time, the arm bar screen out top freed up the jump shot of Brandon McKnight.
Boilermakers are shooting 50%, 8 of 16.
How about McKnight? He only made 1 3-pointer all of last year, and now he's got 5 so far in this season.
Javlik Randolph on the turnaround. Couple of Boilers had chances at it, and it'll belong to Duke.
Arms in your elbows, then it's a wrong way to screen. But you get those arms up and keep those elbows bent. That's called an arm bar screen, and Purdue does it awfully well.
Dockery long with the three after a good pass by J.J. Redick. Purdue up with it. Nobody got down to follow David Teague.
I tell you what, that was a great play by Booker. You're asking your 5-man to have all kinds of pressure on him at the timeline, and he had the presence to look up the floor and get an easy 2 points for his team.
And Purdue on top for the first time since they led 7-6. Williams leaving it off for Daniel Ewing. Good look underneath. Randolph, traffic, contact, and 2. Shavlik Randolph with 7, and he and Sheldon Williams have combined for 17 of Duke's 25 so far.
As good as Purdue is on the defensive end, right now it's way too easy for Duke to catch that ball on the low block. Look at those perimeter guys, Bob. Catch that ball, they'll catch it and square up and either sweep or rip it on you to get that defense off of it.
Teague, after the McKnight miss, David Teague with 7, already equaling what he did in 23 minutes against Seton Hall last night.
And catch and shoot guy or get a rebound and shoot guy, and here's why. No free throw attempts out of Teague so far this season.
Redick working off the screen. That's a deuce for JJ. He doesn't care if it's a 2 or a 3. He just needs something to start going down.
And again, when his feet are set, you watch his feet as a jump shooter, it tells you whether or not that shot's going to go in. Terrific balance.
And with that make, he's 12 for 35 on the year.
Watch Redick working right here. Now, when he goes on the catch, hold it right there, guys. Again, he's going to have a straight line across his feet before he ever goes up in the air. Perfect balance every time. Even coming off of screens, when he curls every time, boom, he gets those dogs set before he elevates straight up.
Well, we've already talked about pistols. Would that be pointing your boots?
That's
out here on the frontier.
Right at the rim. Yes, sir.
There's a blocking foul, an illegal screen, evidently. And this one's going back the other way. It'll be Ivan Cartello with his second. And we've got some foul trouble piling up on Purdue here early. 18 fouls in the first 14.5 minutes. Brett Buscher's at the table to come in. We're trading baskets like crazy. We've had 4 consecutive lead changes here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And a 3-second call with that trapezoid lane. You know, the officials were telling me before the game, Jimmy, it's hard for them to call the lane action because that extended paint, there's no paint. They like it when one part of the floor is a different color than the other. With the new trapezoid lane, they really can't see the sneakers as well as they can when those white sneakers are on the green part.
The biggest difference that trapezoid lane has made in these games with the experimental rule is this. You don't front the post no longer on that low block. There's no reason to because the post guy is already pushed off where you want him to be.
Here's McKnight driving. Off for Buscher. Oh, what a nice tip. That is Chris Booker, 8 for him. And the inside guys on both clubs having a big night so far. Another lead change. We're under 5 minutes to go. Purdue on top.
Well, you've got to make some hard L cuts or V cuts to get open in this ball game. If you're not getting screened for and you're trying to get open on your own, you've got an L cut or you have to V cut, and you better execute and stay on your path. If you round it off tonight, you're not going to get open.
Kenneth Lowe with his second foul as he and Redick went at it. You've got one of the hardest working guys in the country off the ball in J.J. Redick, and one of the best defenders on or off the ball in Kenneth Lowe.
Free throw machine. Look at that, man. I tell you what, same routine. I talked about it on the first night he played every time he shoots. Bob, let me show you real quickly what an L cut is. An L cut would be this. Up the floor to the elbow and straight out. A V cut, if you're trying to get open, would be drive your guy into the lane and then pop back out to the perimeter. L cuts and V cuts tonight are one way to get yourself open against pressure man-to-man defense.
J.J. Redick, 6 points on the night, 27 consecutive good free throws. And Duke back on top, 29-28. Dang trying to stay with Brett Buscher. Now, Brett Buscher is the kind of guy that might be one of those final entries on an all-Wojo type team. Coaches describe him as a tough guy, who knows his role in the club. He doesn't care if he scores or not. He can hit the open shot when he's got the chance.
You know what else Busher can do? He can run a 5:20 mile. He's one of the more athletic big guys in the Big Ten. Keep an eye on Dang tonight. I wonder how tired he is. This is a guy that's playing 31, 32 minutes a ball game right now, 3 nights in a row. He's not into this game like we saw the first 2 nights.
Chris Duhon with the steal. Ewing underneath. Sheldon Williams misses, and Dang is there. He showed plenty of energy running the floor that time.
Boy, and he was quick getting that thing back up on the rim, wasn't he?
I tell you, partner, we're seeing some hoops right now. David Teague is on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 7 or 8 minutes, Jimmy and I have sat here and watched the best sequence of basketball we've seen in 4 days of this tournament.
Oh,
and
wow.
why not? It's Duke and Purdue.
If you haven't watched the last 3 nights and this is your first time to see Luol Deng play, you're looking at one of the top freshmen in the entire country. He has his game at a different level than most young people do for an 18-year-old. You see the little hesitation fake just enough to free himself up, get to the lane, and he can does so much because of the length of his game. 6'8", can handle it. Other than LeBron James last year, he was widely considered the #2 player in all of high school basketball last year. Luol Deng, there he is.
Reddick gets the breather. Luol, 20 points, 10 boards against Pacific. 11, 2, and 3 assists with a couple of blocks last night in the win over Liberty. And after not scoring for a long time, he gets 3 straight points for Duke.
A couple of big plays by Chris Booker. This only goes down as an assist, but I'm telling you what, that was a huge play. He could have turned it over, and Duke could have had an easy 2 points. Then he comes in and cleans up the miss. This is a guy getting 3 or 4 offensive rebounds a game. When the shot goes, someone for Duke every time, you better get a body on him. Even if you have to face guard and not worry about the rebound yourself, keep that big fella off the glass.
Yeah, he'll be an all Big Ten guy this year. Former JUCO All-American at Tyler, Texas. He was an honorable mention All-Conference in the Big Ten last year. Busher fouled from behind, and with great concentration, still drops the shot.
Talked about he's one of the better athletes in the Big Ten for a guy with his size. Look at him step out on the floor, take 2 dribbles, and again, did you see how he didn't float, Bob, when he went up to shoot the shot? He got to that free throw line, gathered himself, and went straight up. If you float in that situation, you're either going to charge or the ball's going to be long on your shot.
You know what? He plays the game like a coach's son. His dad, Bob, was his head coach at Chesterton, Indiana, where Brett was an all-stater, scoring 21 a game.
You see Duke using a little pressure release in the backcourt tonight as well to kind of help free Duhon up. Can Duhon bring it up without that? Yes, but it'll help save his energy.
Randolph to Dang, fighting for a second chance. Busher pulls it down. It's, you might call it 2 out. 2 and out for Duke there, and Purdue on top by 1. 3:20 to go, could add to it here. Booker waiting for the weave to come from Buckley. 2 doubles got in there, Dang and Randolph, and then Williams slams it off Busher to get it back. On the wing, Ewing creating a second opportunity, won't go. It's Randolph for Duke. Fighting, did he travel? Yes. That's the kind of defense Coach K and his club have not seen yet in this tournament. We knew they'd be under some Purdue pressure. And Jimmy, it's still the first half. These big fellas really wear people down after intermission.
Well, I think that's where Purdue gets strong, is that last 10 minutes. And they've got the bodies, we showed the graphic earlier, to come in with about 5 bigs that can just pound on you. Over a 40-minute period, it could wear down the 7-strong Duke team right now.
Teague way out there. He's been feeling it. That was a long 3 attempt, and Luol Deng with the Duke rebound. Deng with 3 boards to go with 3 points in a rather slow personal first half.
Well, Duhon's got to feel like he's being guarded by himself tonight with Brandon McKnight. McKnight terrific, being at ball level all the time as a defender. Whoa,
there's the away from the rim skill of Sheldon Williams, and a dozen for the big fella. He's only a sophomore. What a future he has in the ACC. Nothing there for McKnight. Duhon looking. Left side Ewing. Secondary break. And Busher comes down the lane to deflect that ball away. 2 hours later, log on to ESPN.com for more on college hoops and the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Raymond Felton versus D. Brown. We've got some great matchups early in November, December basketball this year.
Booker traveling. Well, maybe he hooked that arm out there and actually got a foul. That'll be number 2 on Chris Booker.
Difficult for a post guy, Bob, to operate when he gets the ball on the first pass of the half-court possession because the defense hasn't had to move. And Booker tries to force something that time by going baseline. He has to hook to get there.
They won the Great Alaska Shootout in '95 with Wojo and Chris Collins on that club. Purdue won it a couple of years before that with 2 of their current assistants, Conzo Martin and Todd Foster.
Again, both clubs, they get you out of the middle of the floor. Reddick's there now, so they want to get him off to one side or the other and establish their defense.
Reddick came down on the jump stop. That time the feet weren't together. There's big Conzo Martin, 4th year on Gene Cady's staff. There's a guy who didn't mind a little Big Ten contact.
Count the passes. There's 1. You got to make Duke work. Plenty of time left. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Make them work. Move people, move the ball, set hard screens, and hold your screens.
Teague off the catch. It won't roll for him. Sheldon Williams with a Duke rebound. And evidently, Brett Busher will get called for his 3rd foul as Williams went down. All right, let's check that. Officially, it'll be his 2nd.
Tough call to go against Busher with 1 minute to go in the half. And I don't know about that. I don't see a lot of contact that you can make the foul call on Busher. I mean, Williams just kind of falls underneath him, if anything.
Sheldon Williams, first free throw of the night. 5 out of 10 from the line in the shootout so far. Under 50% now.
I like what Gene Cady told his club today. He put it in terms that his kids could understand. He said, guys, playing Duke is like playing Wisconsin. You're going to have to make shots tonight with guys hanging on your arms, and the kids kind of seem to look at him like, oh, okay, I know what you mean now. But that's, I think that was a great move and a great statement by Gene Cady to put this game in perspective.
There was also a little humor this morning at the shoot-around. He was all over his big guys. He told one of them, you better call Pete Newell to get your money back.
Cartello.
Cartello, who had been to Pete's big man camp in Hawaii.
See, there it is. He went up, got his shot blocked, and Pete Newell doesn't teach that in his camp. He doesn't teach you how to get your shot blocked.
Parkinson left side, Busher back to Parkinson. That ball deflected by Duhan. Williams comes up to get it, and Duke can have the final possession of the first half. Blue Devils lead by 2, and a big defensive play there by one of the best, number 21, Duhan.
Purdue,
final 10 seconds.
Purdue will not get this ball back at the end of the half.
Reddick,
wow.
Yes, and a foul. Buckley got him, and it's a 3-ball. That could be a slump buster for J.J. Reddick.
That's the strength of his game. You see him get a little tardy chasing him. Just rotates way too late. Melvin Buckley at 6'7" just fell asleep on the most dangerous guy on the floor, J.J. Reddick, with under 10 seconds to go in the half. That's what we see out of Duke time and time again. Togetherness, playing as a team, being unselfish, but it was a mistake, Bob, by Melvin Buckley defensively to not lock on to Reddick and trail him and be there on the catch.
And, of course, the free throw is automatic. Purdue gets it back. 5 seconds to go. Pressure to keep him from getting in a scoring position. And now the clock is done. And it's a 6-point Duke lead with a late flurry by J.J. Reddick. Sheldon Williams, 13 points and 7 rebounds.
The ball game to me right now, though, it's in the hands of Chris Duhan. He's the guy that's controlling this thing on both ends. The numbers are very even. Points in the paint. Duke has the advantage there. I like how they established that low block the first 5 or 6 minutes of this ball game and got their bigs involved. Teague has had a nice half for Purdue. Again, a tremendous play by Booker that will go unnoticed except for the 1 assist he'll get credit for. But here's the game right now. Chris Duhan on the defensive end of the floor is triggering things, and look at this. Zip right there. Perfect timing to Randolph. They convert the play. Chris Duhon right now has thrown up 6 assists against that tough Gene Cady half-court defense.
Coach Cady's biggest lead was 3 in the first half. Duke's the one they have right now, 6. After that 4-point play by Reddick at the end of the half. There's a good start. Chris Booker having a nice night. Double figures for the 6'10 senior out of Fort Worth, Texas.
Typical Duke basketball, Bob, in that first half. They've made 15 baskets. 12 of them came from an assist.
Reddick, is he going to stay hot? Back iron with that 3. Sheldon Williams trying to keep it alive. The ball finds Duhon, or was it vice versa? Here's Dang hanging short. He's having a bad shooting night right now, as Luol Deng is 1 out of 8 from the floor. Sheldon Williams has been pretty efficient with 13 points and 7 boards.
Duke doing a good job of keeping the ball alive, Bob. And again, if you've got a black jersey on tonight, when the shot goes, you've got to go attack a white jersey. You can't turn it into a jumping contest. That's not your strength. Your strength is beating people from the waist down.
Dang had his shot blocked. 50 seconds out of halftime, and Purdue could get it back to 2, maybe 1 here.
Dang is now 1 out of 8 from the field in this ball game again. I think he's going to hit a wall like all freshmen do, being tired. He's a little bit tired right now just in this tournament.
Sheldon Williams with his 6th block of this tournament. Duhon still has not scored. Here's Teague, who had a nice first half for Purdue. Knights the trailer. Entry, Booker. Perimeter, Lowe. 3-ball. Kenneth Lowe with 8 on the night.
He's not a shooter, but he's a tough-minded, competitive kid, and that was a wide-open 3 that he had to take. It's not a picture-perfect release, but he wills the ball into the basket more times than not.
Boy, the ball just not falling for Luol Deng tonight. With that miss, he's 1 for 10.
Again, 3 games in a row for a true freshman, 30 minutes a game. There's a lot on his plate. Gonna have to play through it.
What body control by Kenneth Lowe. Double figures for the 6'3 senior out of West High School, Gary, Indiana. And Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout.
If you turn it into who's going to be the toughest type game, Kenneth Lowe will be the last guy standing.
Another lead change, 9th of the night. Purdue by 1.
Well, we've got a dandy dessert going on right here in front of us right now. UConn stumbled. Dayton did a great job over in Hawaii. Georgia Tech, a surprise. Depends on who you ask. Paul Hewitt is an excellent coach. 4 losses by top 10 teams, and that number could change before the hour is up.
And Duke's got a #1 national ranking at stake here. General consensus is if they win this tournament, they just leapfrog over everybody.
You see the pressure that Kenneth Lowe put on J.J. Reddick right there and forced that turnover. Wow.
This is better than your normal unranked opponent, folks. Purdue.
Gene Cady said we came to Alaska for one reason. That's to play Duke. And we'll find out if we can back our words up with actions. And so far, they've done it.
Here's Lowe. Kiefer. Teague. He's been so active offensively. May have forced it, but it doesn't matter. Nothing but net. And that's 11 for David Teague tonight. He's a sizzling 5 out of 7. Ewing unable to penetrate. Boy, what work by Lowe. Clapping his hands. Kind of making like a dookie when they slam the palms on the floor at Cameron Indoor. Matt Kiefer playing some tough defense on Luol Deng. Throws up an air ball. Sheldon Williams. There was contact. And a Purdue foul as the Boilers were piling up around Sheldon Williams.
Luol Deng is getting his first real look at Division I big-time basketball because there's big bodies running at him. They're tough. They're physical. When he goes baseline, look at the convergence, the battle up top. Luol is struggling. 1 for 10, 1 for 11 from the field. And they don't have the depth. I'm telling you, that's the first warning sign I've seen of Duke this week. They don't have the depth to bring guys in that can offset a star going to the bench in Luol Deng.
And Deng sits down 1 of 11 with 3 points, 5 boards on the night. Sheldon Williams 1 for 3 at the line so far.
Bob, he will absorb every word that Chris Collins is saying to him right now. That's a kid as big a superstar as he already is. No ego. He's a great teammate, very coachable, and he's learning some lessons in this one.
Purdue by 3. A 9-0 run in the first 3.5 minutes out of halftime. Lowe.
Nice.
Leaving it, Booker! Great assist. Big time finish. And the Boilers by 5. And Duke still has not scored since halftime.
Look at those perimeter defenders. They stay ball level. They stay down in a stance. They keep their eyes focused in on the guy's waistband. Hard to shake them.
Sheldon Williams can't roll it in. Ball swatted. Duhan finds Sheldon again. Jump hook. 15 points, 10 boards for the 6'9" sophomore from Forest Park, Oklahoma.
Well, that ball just doesn't stay in the middle of the floor very long on either end.
Boy, Purdue shooting the ball well. Kenneth Lowe, 3 for 3 this half. The Boilermakers are shooting 51%. Duke is at 37 right now. There's Booker. Great anticipation and the strength to get around Sheldon Williams.
Duke coaches before the ball game, Bob, they told me they're concerned about the stamina level that their club will play in the second half. Again, they've had to play 3 nights in a row. They've had guys that have all averaged between 26 and 32 minutes out of their starters, and we're going to see how Duke depth will come into this ball game now.
Did we get a carry on a dribble called there? I didn't think anybody called that. 4 minutes and 47 seconds out of halftime. Purdue showing lots of arsenal. They're all getting it done. Teague, Lowe, and the big slam by Chris Booker.
Purdue pushing that thing out to a 5-point lead, and they did it a couple of possessions ago, Bob, on what I call a drive and a drift. The ball's going to be caught by Kenneth Lowe on the wing right here, make the pass forward, and then hold it. Now watch, hold it right here. Lowe is going to drive the ball to the basket, and Booker is going to drift off of the block to right here, which frees him up for an offensive rebound. Drive the ball, the opposite big has to drift out of the way, boom, now attack the rim, be there and finish it. Drive and drift. Terrific job by Booker to read the drive, drift out away from it, and then attack the rim. Wham! All over the top of your head right there.
And David Teague out there at midcourt really liked it. Big night for Chris Booker. As we mentioned earlier, veteran player, honorable mention all Big Ten last year after a JC All-American career at Tyler, Texas. Lou Aldang back in there after some big-time struggles tonight. J.J. Redick with a travel. He took a very long dribble there, and Larry Spalding, the official out on that wing, made the call.
J.J. Redick is seeing defense put on him that he maybe hasn't seen yet in his college career. Kenneth Lowe, the best defender in the Big Ten, is causing all kinds of problems right now for J.J. Redick.
Lowe straight ahead, Booker. He's got Sheldon Williams and now Randolph helping. Teague, they are not missing. 14 for David Teague. And it's 49-41 Purdue. Halftime was 5.5 minutes ago, and they were down by 6. Here's Redick creating a shot. Soft little touch, and that's a dozen for the sophomore out of Roanoke, Virginia.
Redick doesn't back away, though. Again, Lowe is locking and chasing him all over the floor, so Redick on the catch just attacks the rim.
No shot for Purdue that time. They hit 7 of their last 9. J.J. well short on an open jumper. Duhan for Dang. He just can't get the ball to go in tonight. At least for now. That's Monday night. Log on to ESPN.com for more on NCAA college basketball. Redick. Randolph waiting. Looked like Teague got his hand in there, and Dang goes right to the glass.
Dang's jumper may not fall tonight because he may be playing with a little bit tired leg. So what can he do to get in the game? Attack the rim and become a player on the inside.
Passing lane, Duhan getting the deflection. Duke has been hitting the offensive glass tonight. 16 offensive rebounds. Only missing 2 shots in the first 6.5 minutes of the half, and they got to get a timeout with a little trouble over there on the sidelines.
But I recognize the tie. I saw it last week in Salt Lake, Utah.
Here's Dang.
Attack that rim.
Bang!
He's long, he's lanky, he's active on the perimeter defensively. And again, you try to make a habit pass tonight, you might as well just give the other team 2 points.
And Duke right back after being down by 8. They rattle off 6 in a row. Here's Booker, jump hook, and Purdue still operating very efficiently at the offensive end. And that's 14 for Chris Booker, who had 17 with 8 boards against Seton Hall in the semifinals. Here's Reddick, really active. Ball spins out of his hand. Nothing there except a Brett Busher Purdue rebound.
Booker has grown up in front of our eyes tonight. Yeah, he's an experienced kid as a senior, but I'm telling you what, he and Teague have become the scorers to complement Kenneth Lowe in this ball game.
David Teague, 3 out of 4 beyond the arc. Sheldon Williams, short with it. Contact, who touched it? And Lonnie Dixon says it was Purdue. Ewing back for the Blue Devils. Kenneth Lowe back for Purdue. And he'll be followed by Yvonne Cartello, the 6'11 senior postman.
Bob, this game's going to be won by whatever team in the huddle grasps the thought of whoever defends and rebounds the longest is going to win this ball game.
Oh, Duhan. Nice little improvisation. Saturday night at the Improv right here in Anchorage. And the Devils back to within 5 with 12.5 to go.
Playing his best basketball of the tournament right now is Chris Duhan. He's in control of things on the offensive and defensive end.
And he doesn't have to score to do it either, does he?
No.
Teague for 2. Goodness, almost banked in. Rebound Cartello. A badly missed 3. You never know what's going to happen with the ensuing rebound.
Now, right now, you can make Duke work almost a full minute defensively on this one trip to the other end. But again, you've got to screen, you've got to seek people out, you've got to hold your screen about a half count longer than normal.
Busher, the screen there for Teague, who missed. A fresh 35, and now Duke may play D for longer than a minute.
Yeah, make him guard you for 90.
Lowe whips it across. Traffic down there, McKnight beyond Busher, and that will be a backcourt violation. Purdue comes up empty. Coach not real happy about it. They had a great opportunity to make it a 7 or 8 point lead, but Coach Gady's got to be pretty pleased right now. Meanwhile, Chris Duhan hadn't scored all night. How about that? And it's a 5-point game, a long way to go.
Booker tonight have been huge. That guy right there, 17 points right now in 24 minutes. The other thing to note about Teague's game is this. He has now played 94 minutes this season, has yet to attempt a free throw. That tells you he's a catch and shoot guy.
Yep. Pike High School out of Indianapolis. David Teague. He was 1 for 9 in the tournament opener against Texas State. Here's Dang creating a shot. The touch is just not there tonight. Cartello. It might have been Nick Horvath of Duke hanging on him. And ABC Sports continues tomorrow with the Skins game, a holiday tradition with a new twist. That twist's name is Annika. And she's got it going right now with 175,000. Coverage concludes Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. She's showing the big boys how to earn some cash during that thing. That's Lowe, but he traveled before he got in there.
That's on the front 9.
And of course, for some of you, that's today. 11:02 to go, and the ball's going to go back the other way.
Well, the pressure in this game is relentless. A lot of times you talk relentless when you talk about rebounders and guys that come in to shoot the ball with a reckless abandon as Reddick comes in. But the pressure defense in this game does not let up for a second. When you get careless with that ball, it's going to cost your teammates 2 points.
And if you folks are wondering, it is 10 o'clock in this time zone. We're 4 hours behind the East. Capacity crowd on hand at the Sullivan Arena for the Great Alaska Shootout Championship game.
Offensively, the game is played on the wings 90% of the time in this ball game, Bob, because the point guards direct you to one side of the floor or the other to establish that help side, weak side defense. They're awfully good at it.
Duhan to Dang.
Wow.
What a step through right around Kenneth Lowe. And that's 9 for Luol. He's not going to shoot a good percentage tonight, but we may look up and he might have a 15-point night.
But he's adapting to the game. They're running to the block now, letting him become an inside scorer, which he hasn't been so far in his young career.
Buckley.
That's a
foul.
foul.
The Boilermakers have missed 2 in a row, and that'll be a grabbing foul on Luol Deng. That'll be his 3rd. Sullivan Arena, Anchorage, Alaska. Purdue and second-ranked Duke. 26th annual Great Alaska Shootout. The Boilermakers won this thing in '93. The Blue Devils in '95. Could there be more trouble for the top 10 if Duke doesn't get it done here tonight?
Boy, if that happens, you look
might
at
see
Kansas.
KU #1,
Kansas playing TCU Monday. Bill Self's squad could slide all the way up. Those rankings, they don't even matter right now.
Stepping out of bounds, McKnight on a pass by Buckley on what appeared to be a rather simple inbounds play. And Gene Katie's upset with that unforced error. David Teague will check in, and Buckley will sit and have an unhappy coach waiting for him.
Here's my point about the preseason rankings. 2 years ago, 15 out of the preseason top 25 teams were not in the final rankings. Last year, 11 out of the teams ranked in the top 25 were not in the final rankings. Way too much basketball to be played to be talking about this team's a Final Four lock and this team's going to be in the Sweet 16, the Final 8. Man, forget all that and start playing the game.
And, of course, Bill Self has Michael Lee to worry about. Reckon that collarbone's going to be out, what, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yep. And now he's got the depth to offset some of that.
Randolph down deep. Dang. Boy, Kenneth Lowe trying to stay with him. And Kenneth Lowe, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, has 3 fouls, 2 of them recently as he tries to stay with the 6'8 freshman Dang.
Duke realizes they have a mismatch if Luau Dang at 6'8 is going to be guarded by Kenneth Lowe at 6'3, no matter how good Lowe is.
Duhan way short with a 3. Randolph kept it alive. Kenneth Lowe, who's a guard who can rebound, grabbing it. 9:40 to go. Boilermakers by 3. They were down 6 at the half, came out with a 13-2 run, and now Duke is settled in and they're right back in it.
Duke goes big for the first time in this tournament, one of the few times anyways, with Williams, Randolph, and Dang on the floor at the same time.
Not a whole lot of offense being run right there. Duhan into the lane. Lots of traffic. McKnight on the floor. A touch for Booker. Held ball. And the arrow belongs to Purdue.
You said
to get all untied under there.
Not a lot of offense being around that last possession. It's amazing what pressure defense can do to you on the offensive end. A lot of times assistant coaches and the head coach will look at each other on a night like tonight and say, what are we running? When did they practice without us as a staff and put in that offense? Because I've never seen an offensive sequence like we just saw.
It's not motion, and it certainly wasn't a set.
It's commotion. They've gone from a motion offense to commotion offense.
Yeah, that's a term coaches love to use from time to time. Todd Foster working for Gene Katie at the age of 67. Still got that fire in his belly. His 24th year at Purdue. He's 9 wins away from 500 as a Purdue coach. And 529 overall. And, of course, the guy over on that other bench passed John Wooden with a win here 2 nights ago.
I knew when Purdue came out of their locker room, and I just happened to be back there when they came out prior to the warm-ups, all 15 of them came out of the locker room barking. And that told me they hadn't been out riding a dog sled and they're just carrying it over. They came for serious business tonight.
Booker.
Nice pass.
That's Busher. The B&B boys teaming up there, and Brett knocks it down. 5 points for him, and the Boilermakers back on top by 5.
Duke came with some monster defense, doubled the ball up on the low block, and the opposite big read it and went right to the rim.
Randolph slipping, and Busher helps out Bruce Corson with the call, saying it's a travel. Mike Krzyzewski, 666 wins, 593 of them at Duke. Trying to win the Great Alaska Shootout for the 2nd time and get his team rolling early. Been kind of a hit and miss tournament for Duke so far. Here's Booker. Jumping into the lane. Rattles it in. 16 for Chris Booker, who's making a strong bid for the all-shootout team.
Great job by Busher to make the entry pass and then cut hard and get his defender, drug him out of the play, and let Booker go one-on-one on that low block. You cannot make a pass and stand and watching this ball game, Bob. You'll throw everything out of rhythm.
Sheldon Williams dribbling his way to a shot. David Teague the rebound. Long pass, Busher. Good pass, good catch. Can't finish. And Randolph there to knock it off for Daniel Ewing. Boy, even when you beat him down the floor, it's hard to score.
Wow.
Duhan with a high floater. That's 4 for him tonight, and both shots have been spectacular.
Duhan will not wear down this ball game. He can play 100 miles an hour over the last 7:15. If there's anyone on the floor that can do it, I would put my money on Duhan or Kenneth Lowe.
And, of course, Purdue, they're used to wearing people down at this stage of the game. Busher advancing the ball. Randolph trying to stay with him. Booker for Lowe. And Booker maybe not quite ready for that thing.
Purdue's bigs are really tired. Booker and Busher are really dragging, getting back down to defense.
15 turnovers by the Boilermakers. Duhan for Williams, tried to force that in there, and Booker took it away.
And look at the bigs right there for Purdue. Look at Busher. He may not make it down in time to be there for a shot. Wow. What
Doesn't
a back
matter. Kenneth Lowe's there. And Coach K, even though we were in a timeout zone, wants to take one here. There are some guys heaving for breath out there.
But what I tell you about Lowe, if it becomes a toughness basketball game, he'll be the last guy standing. This backdoor cut was just a thing of perfection. First of all, watch him run down the floor. Watch this right here. It's a simple backdoor cut, and his defender's going to come out, and they read it perfectly. Watch what happens. The overplay, boom, right there. You fall asleep in this ball game, and it looked like that time that Daniel Ewing was a little bit tired as a defender because he stands straight up, doesn't stay in a defensive stance. Kenneth Lowe makes you pay. Roy Williams with a lot of teaching to do with those guys.
Right now, Purdue's 3 starting guards not as vaunted nationally as Duke's, with a 14-point advantage, 35 points to 21. And Lowe right in the middle of it all, so's David Teague. Duhan finding Reddick, catch, shoot, 3-ball won't go. Rebound Ivan Cartello for Purdue. J.J. Reddick 1 for 5 beyond the arc tonight. 4 for 10 overall. Kiefer, tough shot. Williams knocked it away from Cartello. Scramble, ball saved. Duhan's over the scorer's table again.
The back on the floor to come down.
Williams, and that'll be a blocking foul on Purdue's Matt Kiefer. We're going to have to issue Chris Duhan a credential. He keeps encroaching on press row. Remember the one last night when he took out the Canisius radio guy? Who did Chris Duhan get this time? Here he comes.
Hey, he might take up 2 spots on my all-Wojo team. Chris Duhan has 2 positions on it.
11 losses only in 3+ seasons. Ewing for Dang. Finding Duhan in the corner. His pass squirts all the way to the other side where neither Williams nor Reddick could get it. Mike Krzyzewski watching his team turn it over for the 12th time tonight.
You know Coach K loves this kind of a game. He's a teacher. He's a disciplinarian, and he wants to see how his club's going to respond when things are going against them. They're a little tired. They've had to play 3 nights in a row. They don't have the depth developed yet like he would like to have developed. They trail 7 to a club right now that is really making it tough for them to score. And deep down inside, that entire staff loves what's going to happen, win or lose, out of this ball game. They're going to find out about themselves.
That's what Lute Olson was talking about in Springfield, Mass last night. And it's Lowe. Little too strong. Big rebound, Cartello. Right back to Lowe in the lane. Contact. Looked like Sheldon Williams got him. Sheldon's played this whole game without a foul up to that point.
And Bob, the scouting report has to tell you on Kenneth Lowe, don't go for his ball fake. Don't go for his first look and his head fake. Keep your feet on the ground because he's getting to the free throw stripe 7 times a game. Again, this is a scorer. He's not a shooter. He is a scorer. He knows how to put points on the board and manufacture his own looks.
Kenneth Lowe with 15 tonight. Well, only Jim Boeheim of active coaches at the Q's longer than Coach Katie and Mike Krzyzewski. Now that's at one school. Rick Samuels, we give Eastern Illinois a little shot there. program we hardly ever talk about. 16 for Kenneth Lowe tonight.
Those top 3 guys all have their home court named after him. What about Coach Samuels at Eastern Illinois?
I don't know.
I mean, we need to get something going there.
Check that out over there in Charleston.
I'm going to call him Monday when I get back.
Ewing way short with the 3. 3-on-2 Purdue. Right wing Teague. Secondary break now. Right to the rack. Kiefer got Williams off the floor. Dang the block. Reddick from Duhan. Turning and scoring. 14 for JJ on a 360. Even Wojo was off the bench with that one with some body English. Duke back to within 7.
Bob, that was a great hustle play by Reddick, because if we take another look at it, he got knocked to the floor and then got back up and finished at the other end.
Ball won't go for Teague. There's Cartella with another rebound. They've got a held ball, and the arrow belongs to Duke.
Look at this play that J.J. Reddick just made. You're going to see him right here defensively. I think he's guarding right there. Gets knocked down by Cartello, and then watch what he does. All right, you're going to knock me down? Well, I'm going to knock you down in a different form and fashion. That's a tough horse shot that normally will eliminate a lot of people, and they have S on him right there. Wow, what concentration and effort and a huge heart. There's the first guy of the year, I'm going to say, played that play with a huge Valentine.
4:05 to go. And we all know we've been waiting for that. Sullivan Arena, Anchorage, Alaska. Big Ten, ACC, it's a dandy. This is the championship game, Jimmy, everybody was thinking about when they saw the brackets weeks or months ago, and it has come to fruition on this Saturday night as we wrap up Feast Week.
Well, you know, and all weekend long, all we've heard from around the country is Duke will be the #1 team on Monday. They forgot something, though, that Gene Cady and the guys were setting up here. They get cable TV up here as well. They were watching that stuff. And they've taken it personal now. I'm telling you, at 10 o'clock this morning, these guys were on this floor. Their walkthrough was serious. Gene Cady walked over us and said, this is why we came. We wanted a shot at Duke. We're going to find out if our kids can handle the shot. Guy here's a stud now, I'm telling you. Any conference, he could play for any team and be a valuable guy, because he is one tough guy.
Those icicles, folks, are on our television truck. It's been a frigid week out there. College basketball. We've got some high flying tonight in Alaska. Some emotion. You like ballet? Some like the power. It's the Great Alaska Shootout, 26th annual championship game, and about 50 or 60 folks made the trek up here from Boilermaker country. They've been up there chanting, "Let's go Boilers," trying to exhort their team to hang on to this 9-point lead. What a good position for them, Jimmy D, with 3:51 to go. And a big old round plate waiting if they can win that championship.
Here's what you like about Purdue right now with under 4 minutes to go. They've got experienced guards that have done a good job of not turning it over so much in the second half. And you know, for the next 3.5 minutes, they are going to put some man-to-man defense on you as well as you can coach it.
Purdue trying to make these Duke possessions as long as possible. Ewing can't finish. In the corner, Duhan, Reddick on the wing. Can't hit the 3. And J.J. Reddick, 1 out of 6 beyond the arc tonight. Monday, college hoops doubleheader. Irish and Eagles at 9 on ESPN2. Jayhawks, who could be #1 by then, against TCU. That's if Duke stumbles here and Purdue wins the Great Alaska Shootout. Here's Reddick. Off the glass, Cartello, the rejection for the Boilermakers.
What I say about no easy looks at the rim tonight, huh? Just attack you and you attack them, both clubs.
3-possession game for Purdue with 3:10 to go. And a 5-second call, Duhan on Brandon McKnight.
Well, great recovery by Purdue up top. Look at this. Cartello rotates over. 3 black jerseys come off on top of Reddick, and then Duhan is a one-man press.
Cartello known for his position defense, and they like the fire he brings to the ball club. You'll see him calling out the defense as Duhan and Dang handle it here. There goes Dang. Got away from Kiefer, and it could be a Duke 3-point play.
I love the adjustment of Lowe Deng as a true freshman to realize my jumper's not going tonight, so I'm going to attack the rim and force myself into this basketball game when my team needs me. Just a little too quick right there for Matt Kiefer to stay up with, and Deng at 6'8", hard to guard.
Lowe Deng at the line tonight, 1 for 2, 5 of 17 from the floor, and he's into double figures.
Bob, I think the way Purdue defends, they just need about 2 more buckets, and they're going to win this Great Alaska Shootout. That's the confidence I have just watching them defensively.
It's like an old-time basketball game tonight, partner. We've had 6 old-fashioned three-point plays.
Again, Brandon McKnight has been so tough handling that ball with heat all over him all night long.
You get down to this stage of the game, you're counting possessions. Duke shaved a 3-point possession off the deficit there. Busher counters with a Purdue 2. So it's the Boilermakers by 8 with 2.5 to go.
Booker and Busher have grown up again in front of our eyes tonight. They've took the challenge of the Duke bigs and have matched them.
Not sure Duke was looking for that from Deng. Ewing hustling, and it goes back to the guys from the Big Ten.
Again, great job of Booker catching that ball and under pressure, making a pass. We saw him do it early in the first half from the timeline, but a great buddy game on the inside. That's a very simple buddy game. The 4 guy to the 5 guy, the 5 guy to the 4 guy.
Here's our reset. Each team with a 60 and a 30 left. Possession arrow for Duke. Foul trouble has not been a factor really tonight.
We can look at that offense again, forced to start on the side of the court. Both clubs have gotten that ball out of the middle all evening long.
McKnight right to the rack. Rejected. Big time block by Sheldon Williams. Reddick has a trailer. In fact, he had 2, and one of them had a black jersey. Brendan McKnight. Under 2 minutes to go.
Now, they do not need a quick shot right here if you're Purdue. You're strong with the ball, Bob. You catch it, you face up, you rip it through, you make sweep moves, and at worst, you just take this thing all the way down and don't even have to take a shot, but just use that clock.
Shot clock has not been this low all night. It's below 10. It took 38.5 minutes for that to happen. McKnight, yes. A half dozen for Brandon McKnight. Purdue by 10. Duhan rejected and fouled.
Bob, it's not a surprise. You got guys like McKnight and Lowe. I'm telling you, they are fierce competitors, and they have been waiting all week long for their shot at Duke. You see him come in from behind and get the steal. Reddick goes underneath the ball screen, allows McKnight to get to the 6 or 8 foot mark, and then it's again a kid that just wills the ball into the hoop. He's not a great shooter. Kenneth Lowe is not a great shooter, but they play the game so competitively. At times they will the ball in. This is not a surprise to me at all because of the passion that Purdue brings to the floor on the defensive end.
Chris Duhan, 5 on the night. Oilers haven't missed a free throw tonight, shooting 9. Duke is 8 of 14. 9 of 15. Pressure now, minute 19 to go, 8-point game. A gamble there. McKnight for Lowe. That was Duhan on the floor. Look out, Booker, here he comes, and Duhan fouls him.
Bob, head coaches come to Alaska with one thing on their mind. Yes, we want to play well, but we want to find out where we are against some of the best teams in the country, and Coach Cady and Coach K have found that out tonight. Here's what has been exposed to Duke. They're vulnerable when you get them into a situation where their depth has to come from the bench and produce quality minutes and quality points.
Only 16 fouls on Duke there. Next one will be shooting. Into the backcourt for Lowe. Ewing. Now the trap as Duhan chases, and Lowe just runs right away from it. Finding Teague. Gambling. It's Deng with a foul, and that'll be number 7 on the Blue Devils with 1:06 to go, and Purdue up by 8.
Bob, I want to go back and finish my thought on Duke's depth. Again, they're 7 strong, and that's exactly the words that Gene Cady described them today. It's just not my thoughts on them, but it's what Coach Cady thought as well. He said they're 7 strong, and one of those 7, Dockery, has not scored a point all year long. And that's something that Coach K will have to go back and try to find a way to get it done by committee off of his bench.
David Teague with 19 tonight. Purdue by 10 with a minute to go. They haven't missed a free throw, have the Boilers tonight. Ewing slashing, can't score. Booker a touch, Booker the rebound, and it looks like the Boilers are going to take a preseason championship back to the Hoosier State.
Well, the Big Ten's going to go up 1 on the ACC Big Ten Challenge that started tonight. I know it kicks off next week officially.
Looks like a Rock Chalk Jayhawk Monday coming up for number 1.
Yeah, hey, right here. This is going to happen, and then 1 through 4 are going to drop. But it doesn't matter right now. It's still November.
Well, I used to remember those Kansas fans down in Maui chanting Rock Chalk Jayhawk at the end of a preseason tournament championship game. Tonight here in Anchorage, it's Let's Go Boilers for the folks from Indiana. Quick hit needed for Duke. Dang's 3 long. Busher a touch. Duhan rips it away. Quick step basket and a Krzyzewski timeout. The hunt for Duke December is coming up on our ESPN family of networks at Michigan State against St. John's Princeton. That Texas game is actually a home game that Duke will play at Madison Square Garden, and then they host Davidson a couple of days before New Year's Eve.
Well, that Texas squad is loaded up again this year. Again, Rick Barnes is going to miss TJ Ford, but I think they're going to be actually better in some areas. And Coach K has played that tough schedule year in and year out, and he does it for one reason. What's my strength? What's my weaknesses? And he's going to learn some of those from tonight.
Duke 3-point shooting tonight, 3 for 19. That'll put some sad faces over there on Coach K, Wojo, Chris Collins, and Johnny Dawkins. McKnight gets it into Booker. Dockery all over him. We'll walk to the other end with 38.1 to go, and Purdue by 9. Gene Cady about to get number 492 at the helm of Purdue. It'll be his 530th win overall. And this is considered a neutral court.
Well, I know everyone's talking about Michigan State, Wisconsin, Illinois, and the Big Ten. I'm telling you, you better make sure you start throwing the names like Indiana and Purdue in there as well, from what I've seen just in the past week.
Well, they've done to the Big Ten what Georgia Tech did to the ACC. Got to start talking about them after they win the NIT. I know you had them in your top 25 preseason.
Yep. Gene Cady wanted this game, and his kids wanted this shot at Duke.
Finally a 3. It's Daniel Ewing with his 3rd of the night. He's hit 3 of their 4. And it's a 7-point game, folks. This one is far from over. Mike Krzyzewski using his final timeout with 31.1 to go. 2 years later, it was Duke. In fact, these schools haven't met very often. The series is Purdue 3-1. The biggest meeting was in the Elite 8 in '94 when Duke beat the Boilers by 9. And the Blue Devils would go on to be the NCAA runner-up to the Arkansas Razorbacks of Nolan Richardson. 72-65, time running out.
Kenneth Lowe is a guy to get the ball in his hands, and there they do it. Great job by Purdue to make sure Kenneth Lowe, who's your 90% free throw shooter, gets the chance to walk the other end.
If Duhan doesn't go into the table, he'll send somebody else into the table. Not to make light of the situation, because Kenneth Lowe got shaken up on that play, but he's all right now.
Great job by Gene Cady in the timeout to make sure they run Lowe off of a couple of screens and get the ball in his hands. A couple of reasons why. Not only is he your best free throw shooter, but he's one of those guys that when you foul him at this point in the game, he's thinking this: you just fouled the wrong guy. It's all about your mental thoughts right now, a lot more than your stroke and how you shoot that ball. Are you tough enough to step up there and knock him down? And he is. Holding that knee, isn't he?
Next up on ESPN2, EA Sports and NFL matchup here on the Deuce.
I said it earlier, if this game comes down to who's going to be the toughest guy standing, Kenneth Lowe, his knees aren't going to buckle.
20 tonight. He had 26 against Texas State. 6 against Seton Hall as he had a role-playing night in the semis.
And just
Here's
don't
Reddick.
foul.
Rebound Booker. And Purdue. 3-possession game. They are so solid, it's hard to believe there's any way they're not going to take care of business here.
Well, we've seen him around the hotel all week long, Bob, and that's kind of the expression we've seen from him all week. He came up here with a specific purpose. Now he's going to be awfully proud of his kids because they just are finishing off number 2 ranked team in the country, a very talented team, a very well-coached club, a club that is awfully good on the defensive end as well, and they're tough. They played a mirror of themselves in a lot of ways tonight, and their togetherness going to get them the championship.
Kenneth Lowe has been already named the most outstanding player of the Great Alaska Shootout. Dang knocks down the 3. They don't have any timeouts to call. Busher throws it in. Kenneth Lowe off to the races. Racing for the glass. And a little icing on that pumpkin pie for the Boilermakers. 78-68. Purdue wins the 26th Great Alaska Shootout. They were down by 6 at the half. Mike Krzyzewski, as always, gracious in defeat. The tournament's most outstanding player, Kenneth Lowe. He had 26 against Texas State, then 6 last night, 22 tonight. And here are our champions for Feast Week. The Dayton Flyers got it down at the Lahaina Civic Center. The Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech at Madison Square Garden. And here at Sullivan Arena in Anchorage, the Purdue Boilermakers 78-68. And they go to 4-0 on the season. And in their history against Duke, they've beaten the Blue Devils 4 times out of 5 meetings. Jimmy Dykes is with Gene Cady. Go ahead, partner.
Coach, you came up here for one reason. You told your kids that we're going up there to play Duke. You got your shot.
Well, Texas State about kept us from doing it. They played great. Seton Hall played great, and then, you know, we had our opportunity. I said, you seniors will never get this chance again to play a quality program like Duke and maybe have a chance to be rated in the top 10 next week if you can take care of business. So our kids all played a great game.
Gene, I said on the broadcast, if it comes down to the toughest guy left standing, Kenneth Lowe is going to be the guy standing.
He is. He's a warrior. If he stays healthy, we'll be pretty good this year before it's over.
All right, buddy. Hey, good to see you again. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good seeing you.
Bob.
Gene Cady and his Purdue Boilermakers win the Great Alaska Shootout, beating Duke by a final score of 78-68. Coming up next here on ESPN2, EA Sports NFL matchup. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Jimmy Dykes and our entire Deuce crew, Bob Carpenter, from the 49th state, we bid you adieu, and it's all Purdue for the Great Alaska Championship.